Hey guys, welcome back to another ADC video for modeling your plane. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do aerodynamic surfaces. The specific one I'm going to be doing is the vertical tail, but this process is identical for doing wings or horizontal tails. It just involves importing a different airfoil and then extruding it a different amount. And I'm going to demonstrate how to do this for the vertical tail I'm using. You can follow the same method for whatever airfoil you're wanting to do. So to start off with, I'm going to have to get the airfoil data. So go to your text file that you probably have from XFLR5. If you don't, you can get this text file from um, airfoiltools.com. This is the text file for your chosen airfoil, and copy all the data values, exclude any text at the top, exclude the first one. It's very important. Don't copy this data value. Copy all the way down to the second to last one, but miss out the bottom one. So basically, you're going to want to copy everything apart from the 210s. Go into Excel and paste this in here. Now, see here, this has them all in column A. So to fix that, I'm going to highlight column A. I'm going to go to Data, Text to Columns. I'm going to click Space. I'm going to go Next. I'm going to go Finish. And now it's in two columns. These represent the X and Y coordinates of our airfoil. To add the Z coordinates, I am just going to add 0 and double click there because it's 0 for all Z coordinates. And there we go, X, Y, Z. We've got this data. Now I'm going to go File and Save as. Save it as a tab delimited file.txt. It's important you save it like this. Give it an appropriate name. Save. Okay, so you've now got the airfoil data saved. So it's now time to go to SolidWorks. SolidWorks, in my experience, does not like importing a particular airfoil if you already have that data open in Excel. So just go ahead and close Excel. It might work fine for you, but from my experience, it does not work. So to be safe, close Excel. You won't need that anymore. Now you're going to want to go to Insert. You're going to go Curve, and you're going to go curve through XYZ points. Now, this is why we needed to add the Z coordinates of 0, because SolidWorks needs X, Y, and Z coordinates. Okay, so browse for your file. In order to find your file, you're probably going to need to change this to .txt, so your file comes up, and then just go ahead and open your file. You'll probably see it appearing somewhere. You can go Save, and then OK. If you like suddenly think your airfoil has disappeared, it probably hasn't. It's just gone like different color and it looks kind of hard to see. You can go F on the keyboard to make it full screen. Then you just run your mouse over. You should be able to find it. So this is not a sketch. This is a curve. We need to change this curve into a sketch of the same shape. So to do this, I'm going to create a sketch in the front plane, which, as you can see, is parallel to the curve we have created. So I'm going to create a sketch in this plane, and then I'm going to go convert entities. Now the entities I want to convert is this curve, and I'm just going to press yes. And there we go. Now this is a sketch that is in the front plane. But as you remember, we got rid of the first and the last data points, which means there's this little gap. So we need to manually put this back in. So you can do that. Click on the line tool up here, hover over so it's over this point, and just draw it arbitrarily. You're going to define these dimensions later, so draw it arbitrarily, and then you can hit escape, and that will close it off. You're now going to add a relation, making this line and this line tangent. You see, it's now made that tangent, and then you're going to want to do exactly the same thing with the bottom. Make this line and this line tangent. There we go. Okay, so now you see we have an airfoil. It's complete. When there's a complete enclosed area, SolidWorks will shade it so you can see this is full. But now we need to define the chord length, because this is just an arbitrary chord length, and the chord length needs to be correct. So to do this, click on the line tool again. Now get the point at the tip. Be careful not to get either of these points. Get this point. Draw a line from there all the way here, but don't just hover over and click there. You want to, because this is the origin, that point, you want to click on the spline a bit above the origin. So if this is the origin, make sure it's going to highlight the whole curve yellow, click there. And then just go ahead and pull up so it's so it's forming a right angle and then hits escape. So now what we need to do is we need to make this line tangent with the airfoil, and that will place this perfectly horizontal. So add a relation, make this line and this line tangent. See what I did? It shifted down a tiny bit. Now the two, it's right on top of the origin. There you go. Correct, full screen. Okay. We now, before we can define the airfoil, you're just going to go ahead and delete this relation. Right click on there and delete it. Yes. Okay. Now, if you go to Smart Dimension, click on this line, dimension it as whatever your chord length is. And you see, it's changed it. This is what the curve was that we imported. This is our sketch. So now I have a chord length that's 110. That's the chord length I want. Yours may be different. Then click OK. Okay, so this is pretty much done. We now have our airfoil, the correct chord length imported in SolidWorks. The final step is just to extrude it to make it 3D. This is very simple. Go to Features, Extruded Boss Base. One small note, if you're doing this for the horizontal or the wing, I'd recommend, rather than just extruding it in one direction, extruding it going mid-plane, and this will extrude it in both directions. But oops, I'm going to just go to blind, and and then I'm just going to specify the distance. I'm going to make it, 15 centimeters. Okay, that seems to be an issue. Let me just, okay, I'm just going to go back and see. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I forgot to finish my sketch, so I'm going to go to edit the sketch. Here we go. So if you see here, I try to extrude it when you've got a line through the middle and a line up here. That means it's not going to work because it's an open contour. So to delete these, go to Trim Entities and just drag it across that line. Drag it across that line. Press OK. Now when you go to Features, Extrude Boss Base. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. 150 millimeters here, and as I mentioned before, if you go mid-plane, it makes it in the middle, which is also good. It's useful for wings when you want the origin to be in the middle of the wing. But this is for the vertical tail. So for the vertical tail, I'm going to make it just going up. So it's just going in one direction. So it just needs to be one. Save it. There we go. Final thing to do is to do the material. So if you remember, edit the material like this. Go to Custom Materials. Plastic. Pink foam, you should have this saved. Apply the pink foam. You will see it up here. Change to pink foam. Close. And now when you go to your mass properties, you will have its mass here. That's everything in terms of how to import an airfoil. Thank you guys.